Welcome back to the Artificial Fluency Podcast.
Great to be here.
Today, we're diving deep into some fantastic resources you shared, all about, leveling up your everyday English.
Mm-hmm. Looks like some really practical stuff.
Yeah, we've got audio covering essential phrases, some smart practice methods, and also how to learn English effectively, looking ahead to 2025.
Right, so the goal is to boil it down.
Exactly. Our mission, to cut through the noise, find the most useful bits to help you make English learning a natural part of your daily life, without it feeling like a chore.
Sounds good. Where should we start?
Let's jump right in with those essential daily English sentences, that first audio.
Okay. Yeah, that's a great place to start. The audio from Emma at Artificial Fluency, it really spotlights those everyday phrases that native speakers actually rely on.
Right.
And what's interesting, I think, is how even small changes in wording can make a big difference in how you come across.
Totally. Like, I'm running late. It just feels different than I will be late.
It does, doesn't it? It feels more active, like you're already moving, but just behind.
Yeah, there's a sense of motion and maybe a hint of apology in there.
Precisely. Saying, I'm running late for coffee, just sounds more engaged, more considerate.
Mm-hmm.
Then there's, I'll take care of it.
Oh, yeah. That one's good. Very confident.
Right. It projects much more confidence than just say, I will do it. It's about showing you're taking ownership of the task.
Definitely conveys responsibility. Like, if someone asks about paying the bill, I'll take care of it. It's reassuring. You sound dependable.
Small words, big difference.
And it slipped my mind. That's such a gentler way to admit you forgot something.
It really softens the blow, doesn't it? I forgot. Can sound a bit abrupt.
Yeah, maybe a bit careless sometimes.
Exactly. It slipped my mind suggests the thought just sort of floated away. It's more socially graceful. Like if you miss calling someone back, sorry, it totally slipped my mind.
Uh-huh. And I find the thing is super useful. It's like a little signal that you're about to explain something.
Absolutely. It's a natural bridge. It signals you're about to give some important context, or maybe the main point, especially if it's a bit complex.
Right. It prepares the listener.
Yeah. Like, I'd love to help you move. Thing is, my back's been acting up lately. It just smooths the way for the reason.
And being diplomatic, I'm not sure about that, is key when you disagree or you're just uncertain.
Oh, definitely. It's a great way to express doubt without being, confrontational.
Keeps the conversation flowing.
Exactly. Someone suggests a really risky investment, maybe. Not sure about that. Opens things up more gently than a flat, no way.
Good point. And then there's, it depends. So much meaning packed into just 2 words.
Huh, yeah. It shows you understand things aren't always simple, right? There's nuance.
Like, should we take the bus or the train?
And the answer, well, it depends.
Yeah.
Depends on the traffic. It shows you're actually considering the different factors. More thoughtful.
That works for me. Just straightforward agreement. Simple, positive.
Yeah, it communicates approval and flexibility really clearly.
Yeah.
Friendly, easy, suggest a meeting time. Yep, that works for me. Done.
Okay, and then I'm swamped. That paints a very vivid picture.
It really does. It's much stronger than just, I'm busy.
Yeah.
It conveys that feeling of being totally overwhelmed with stuff.
Like, can't do lunch, sorry, I'm swamped. People get it immediately.
And I'll keep that in mind. Useful for acknowledging advice without maybe committing right away.
Exactly. It shows you've heard them, you've considered it, but maybe you need to think it over. Respectful. Someone suggests a new app. Oh, okay, I'll keep that in mind.
Nice. No worries. It seems almost universal now for casual responses.
It really is. So versatile, friendly, responding to apologies, or even thanks sometimes. Makes you sound relaxed.
Someone bumps into you, no worries.
Exactly. Or thanks you for holding a door. No worries. Easy.
I see what you mean. That's so important for showing empathy or just understanding. Absolutely critical for a good conversation. It shows you're actually grasping their perspective, even if you don't 100% agree.
Right. Validates their point.
Yeah. In a tricky discussion, saying, okay, I see what you mean, shows you're listening, you get their logic.
And to be honest, that signals something genuine is coming, maybe something a bit sensitive.
Spot on. It prepares the listener. Like, to be honest, I wasn't a huge fan of that movie. Sets an authentic tone.
Okay. That makes sense. Another great one for acknowledging someone's reasoning.
Shows you follow their logic, you understand their thought process, even if maybe you do it differently.
Like if they explain why they chose a certain career path. Okay, that makes sense.
Exactly. It validates their rationale.
And I'm looking forward to it. Just pure positive anticipation.
Yeah. Radiates enthusiasm, doesn't it? for a dinner, a meeting, a vacation. Really looking forward to our chat next week. Encouraging.
Nice. And finally, just in case, shows you're thinking ahead, prepared.
Precisely. It explains why you're taking a precaution. I'll bring an umbrella just in case.
Foresight. So the big takeaway from all of these is how subtle word choices can really shift the message, make you sound more polite or confident or empathetic.
Absolutely. And like Emmy said in the audio, actually saying them out loud is crucial. Practice is key.
Right, you got to get comfortable using them.
Mm.
Okay, so that covers the essential phrases. Let's move on to the practical English practice techniques from the next audio clip.
Yeah, this one gets into the how-to of building those consistent learning habits.
And what really jumps out is this theme of small, consistent efforts, little and often.
Definitely. Setting achievable goals, like the example of Jack the software developer learning just 5 new technical words daily. It's about sustainability.
Right. Not trying to boil the ocean. Small daily wins really add up. And I liked the idea of weaving listening into your routine.
Like Sarah in marketing listening to podcasts on her commute,
Yeah.
using that existing time.
Yeah. And the idea of re-listening to the same thing. That was interesting.
It is, because repeated exposure helps you catch things you missed, right?
Yeah.
Nuances, different accents, the natural rhythm of speech. You're training your ear.
Makes sense. And using apps and online tools during downtime, like John the teacher on his commute again, making learning accessible.
Exactly. Those little bite-sized exercises, they fit into busy schedules so easily. It feels less like a chore, more just part of the day.
And watching English YouTube channels, finding stuff you're actually interested in, like Megan the nurse watching medical English videos, learning vocabulary and context.
That's so important.
Yeah.
Learning through immersion in topics you genuinely care about. And she wasn't just passively watching, right?
Yeah.
Noting new words, repeating sentences, active engagement.
Good point. And speaking, the importance of actually speaking with others, even if your English isn't perfect. Like Tom, the software engineer in his online group, that takes guts.
It really does. But overcoming that fear of mistakes, finding supportive places to just practice. It's essential for building fluency and confidence. Making mistakes is part of it.
Absolutely. Then there was shadowing, imitating native speakers. James, the sales manager, shadowing business videos. That's quite specific.
Yeah, it's a technique focused purely on pronunciation and rhythm. You're literally mimicking the music of the language, training your mouth and ear together.
Interesting. And learning vocabulary in real-life situations, like Anna, the stay-at-home mom, describing her cooking process, connecting language to life.
Exactly. Makes it stick so much better. Turning everyday stuff into learning moments. And looking up words immediately reinforces it right there, in context.
Okay. And describing your daily life in English, even just thinking aloud, like Rachel the mother doing housework. That's clever, makes English part of your internal world.
It really does. It forces you to connect English words to your immediate reality, integrating it into how you think. Simple self-talk. Big impact on confidence.
Writing short journal entries daily, like Mark from the warehouse. Just a few sentences. Focus on output.
Yeah. Writing forces you to actively use the grammar, the vocabulary you're learning. Again, consistency is the key, just like Mark showed. Better than one long essay once a month.
Role-playing scenarios, like Claire prepping for a job interview, that seems super practical for specific situations.
Totally. Lets you rehearse those real-world interactions safely, reduces anxiety, helps you recall the right phrases when you actually need them.
And explaining things you've learned, like David the construction worker repeating podcast lessons in his own words, that's like teaching yourself.
Exactly. Teaching is often the best way to learn. It forces you to process, articulate, really understand it deeply. Aids recall massively.
Reading out loud, Paul, getting ready to move to the UK. Physical practice for your mouth connects seeing and saying.
Precisely. Strengthens that link between reading and speaking. Improves pronunciation, fluency, and recording yourself. Great for tracking progress.
Even simple things like talking about yesterday and tomorrow, like Emma the baker practicing tenses during her day, makes grammar practical.
Yeah, less abstract, more integrated into just talking. Applying the rules natural.
So many techniques. But they all seem to point towards finding what works for you and doing it consistently.
That's the thread, isn't it? Personalizing it, making it sustainable, finding ways to weave it into your life. Language exchange, diaries, social media.
Right. Okay, let's look at the third audio then. This one's focused specifically on learning English effectively in 2025 with some concrete resource recommendations.
Yes, Emma, again, with the 7 key tips. The first was listening to podcasts, and she suggested ones native speakers actually listen to, which I thought was a great angle.
Yeah, like stuff you should know, especially the short stuff episodes for general listening.
Right, it's about exposing yourself to that natural, everyday English, but in an engaging way. Fun topics.
And she mentioned people I mostly admire for more challenging listening, understanding experts.
Exactly. The topics can be complex, but the speakers usually explain things clearly. Good for picking up more sophisticated language.
And This American Life for really diverse speaking styles, plus a dose of American culture.
Fantastic resource. That variety of voices, accents, stories, it really hones your listening skills across different contexts. Gets you used to authentic American English.
Okay, tip 2 was watching English-only YouTube videos. Again, some diverse picks.
Yeah. Tom Scott for fascinating, often funny stuff. Makes learning enjoyable, right?
Definitely. His style makes complex things seem easier to grasp. Good for comprehension.
And School of Life for self-help content adds that personal development angle.
Which can be motivating. Learning English and something about yourself.
Right. Then Geography Now for learning about countries, and the subtitles help accessibility.
Good point. Learn geography and English.
And the Minimal Mom for lifestyle stuff, that specific video, How to Keep a Clean House in 2025, reinforces learning through everyday, relatable topics again.
Connects back to that real-life integration. Okay, tip 3. Write a few sentences daily. The rose, bud, thorn prompt.
I like that one. Simple structure makes daily writing less daunting. You reflect on the good part, rose, something you're looking forward to, bud, and a challenge, thorn, all in English.
Builds the habit easily. Tip 4 was consistency. Short daily practice beats long, infrequent sessions. Mention the 90-day challenge idea.
Yeah, the core message, again, regularity is king. Even 15 minutes daily is way more effective long term.
Number 5. Listen to audiobooks. She recommended free ones on YouTube. The Giving Tree, Matilda, Life of Pi. Different levels.
And suggested different ways to use them: listen, then read, read, then listen, or both together. Caters to different styles, reinforces listening and reading.
Smart. Tip 6. Watch English TV shows. Young Sheldon for everyday conversations, seeing daily life.
Great for picking up natural dialogue, common scenarios, like around the dinner table.
And Jim Gaffigan, the comedian, to test fluency through humor. That's a high bar.
It really is. Understanding humor often relies on grasping cultural nuances, wordplay. It's a great benchmark for advanced comprehension. If you get the jokes, you're doing well.
Okay, and the final tip, number 7. Speak out loud every day. Read your journal entries aloud, or use those Speak With Me YouTube videos.
Crucial. Got to activate the speaking muscles. Even talking to yourself or following a video builds confidence and fluency. And that other video wrecked of the one with 15+ teachers sharing tips. Sounds like a gold mine.
Wow, so many actionable ideas packed into these resources. Really practical stuff.
Absolutely. And the common thread really is making English learning a consistent, integrated, and hopefully enjoyable part of your daily life.
Yeah, whether it's mastering those key phrases, using smart practice techniques, or just consuming interesting, authentic content.
We've definitely covered a ton of ground today thanks to the materials you shared.
So for everyone listening, remember those key takeaways. Consistency is crucial.
Right. Start small, set goals you can actually achieve.
Weave English practice into your routines in ways that you find genuinely interesting. Don't make it a drag.
And please, don't be afraid to make mistakes. It's literally how you learn.
We really encourage you to maybe revisit some of the specific examples we talked about, the phrases, the YouTube channels, that rose, bud, thorn idea.
Yeah, think about which of these strategies kind of clicks with your learning style. How could you start incorporating maybe just one of them, starting today or tomorrow?
So what are your initial thoughts listening to all this? Which method feels like the easiest first step for you? What challenges do you maybe see coming up? We genuinely love to hear your reflections.
Keep exploring, keep practicing, and keep taking these deep dives into the world of English. We'll be right here for your next stack of sources whenever you're ready.
Thanks for tuning in to this deep dive.